the centre.
Yeah, there's no point trading with a huge amount of armour down the side. We strip all that off to save wear and tear and fuel. When it goes to war, this is what it'll look like.
Challenger 2 came into service back in 2000, still in service at the moment. Obviously in some areas it's getting a bit long in the tooth, but the truth of the matter is it's still a very potent bit of kit.
Yeah, it's highly capable still, compatible with the battlefield. Protection levels are still insane. One of the, or if not the best protected main battle tank in the world.
So this has why tanks look this way nowadays. It's laminate armour, it's not cast steel. You can't bend chop-em armour, which is why it tends to have these rather flat, faceted surfaces to it. The 120mm smoothbore gun, rifle gun, that's going to be replaced in the new version.
Yes, it is. Challenger 3 is going to have the new Rheinmetall L55A1, which is an impressive piece of equipment, a huge increase in penetrative capability, also makes it compatible with the rest of NATO's ammunition.
And on the back of this, people are often looking at different things. You've got a remote weapon station. This weird looking table arrangement is not so they can have tea on the back of the turret there. This is holding a number of very clever electronic gadgets that we're not allowed to know quite what all of them do, but it's part of the electronic warfare, etc. equipment.
On the infantry integration we mentioned earlier. If you look at the back of the vehicle, you see a small wobbling antenna on the hull. Below that is what they call the infantry tank telephone. That's for use for dismounted soldiers who can open the box, pull a small microphone out, they can speak directly to the commander. It works great when you know the environment, you can't quite see behind you, they need to call for fire. They just jump on that telephone and tell the commander what to do.
If you go back, the first British tank to have it, we've got the Comet down there, that's actually got that telephone on. It's always been a problem throughout history, recurring. How does the poor infantryman that's there with the tanks talk to the tank? You always think they're going to use their radios, aren't they? The radios never work when you need them to, hence the need for, whether it's even a hammer we've seen on an exercise, you smack on the metalwork with the code of the day, and hopefully the commander will open up the turret and talk to you.
Yep, hand signals work really well, and just practice TTP. You should work together as a team over and over again. Repetition makes it, slick drills, etc. So yeah, working together really makes a difference when it comes to things like that.
Can you explain this word hunter-killer? That's what they call this type of system that it's using. How does that go about? What do you do as a hunter-killer system? So
the hunter-killer system, first with the Challenger 2 for the British Army, the commander has its own independent sight. With a laser rangefinder or Bluetooth fire control system. The gunner has his sight. It means that the commander can cue a target up, laser it, get the ballistic range, and fire the gun. Speed of engagement, we'll know so we know we outrange them, we know we're outshoot them, hence the Russian design doctrine. But yeah, it's all about the fire control and the accuracy gun. Suspension of the Challenger. So one of the best suspensions in the world when it comes to main battle tanks. Instead of using torsion bars, you essentially compress gas on the outside of the hull in small cylinders. Once that gets warmed up, it's the smoothest ride I've been on an AFP.
And that as well, because fully stabilised gun, you want to lock onto a target, you don't want to be static when you're actually firing. Firing on the move gives you an advantage.
Yep, what I tell my boys, if in doubt, move.